Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Ben Suarez, and this is my presentation on my microculture. So, to start off, mine is on bowling. So, me and my best friend have been going bowling since the beginning of the fall semester, so around like beginning of April. So, we haven't been going for a while, but we have been going a lot, and we've grown a deep passion for it. And my friend already has a bowling ball. He already bought one. So I just have to purchase mine. And yeah, we're just loving the game even more. And yeah, so here's a presentation. So to start off, we have values of bowling. So in bowling, it is important for every player to understand the game's value of team playing, sportsmanship, and patience. These values teach bowlers life lessons that go beyond the sport, which could also support my argument that it's a microculture. This sport is really dependent on team playing and cooperation, which also connects to patience, since that is what it takes to be a good sport when your teammate is not having a great game. So yeah, the values of bowling, they revolve a lot around being patient when it comes to your teammates as well as the opponents. And it also shows you how to have good sportsmanship and respect. It's one of the best sports in that regard. So, yeah. So, on to the next topic, we have characteristics of bowlers. So, one characteristic that bowlers have that should be pointed out is they are significantly strong, especially professionals. Just imagine constantly rolling a 14 to 15 pound ball every round. And also, there is 10 frames in bowling, and you go twice in each frame unless you get a strike the first time around. And also in the 10th frame, you have 3 shots at getting 3 strikes. So there's a lot of throwing the ball around with this heavy one. So yeah, it might not sound like much at first, but they should also normally go around 20 to 21 miles per hour. And that is the professional average. Bowlers also have a very strong desire to win, which is why they always have a high confidence boost. Last but not least, bowlers tend to have a lot of resilience as well. Even after making a mistake like throwing a gutter ball, they are able to overcome it and bounce back the next time around. I go through this a lot. I can relate to this very well because there have been many times where I've gotten really bad gutters and I literally get like strikes the next round. So yeah, bowlers always tend to bounce back. So yeah. All right, so on to the next topic. We have traits of the group, and this is actually an interesting one because it involves a few personality traits. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. The sport of bowling also has some personality traits that can be distinguished within the group. The first one is named Captain Clutch, and this trait goes to the teammate that is known for making the game-winning spare strike in the closest of games. The next one is Samantha Split, and this teammate is the one who is always good at knocking down the splits. Since some of them are the hardest spare conversions to make in bowling, a Samantha Split would be a great addition to the team. And by the way, in the next topic, I'm going to be covering what a split is, if some of you do not know what that is. All right, so the third one is Walkout Wayne, which goes to the player that is known by many to make their own celebrations after every strike. This bowler tends to have the most excitement out of the whole group as well, hence why they always tend to celebrate. The last personality trait in bowling is called methodical mark. The player with this trait is similar to a perfectionist in that they always make sure everything looks right and spot on before going for the shot. They always spend the same amount of time on the approach as well as having the same pre-shot routine. All right, so on to our second to last topic. We have the behaviors/patterns of communication. So, the patterns of communication as well as behavior that occurs during bowling matches are very different from the dominant culture. While bowlers can have a cocky behavior because of their confidence, they also behave respectfully towards opponents by being silent while they go for the shot. When it comes to communication patterns, bowlers have their own terminology that they use when talking to each other. For example, there are turkeys, which is when someone converts 3 strikes in a row. Another bowling term is a split, which is when a bowler leaves 2 or more pins standing and adjacent to each other on the first attempt. These terms and more are only understood by those who are a part of this microculture. And as stated in that last sentence, I'm going to reiterate, there are a lot more terms in bowling that only bowlers can understand. So I only listed two here, but just so you guys can keep in mind, there is a lot more. All right, so now we're at the final topic of this presentation, which is interesting facts about bowling. I actually had a lot of fun researching this stuff because I found out some things that I would never even think about with this sport. So, first one is the first indoor bowling alley, called Knickerbockers, was built in 1840, which is located in New York City. Number two, the standard bowling ball that you all used at one point has 3 holes to stick your fingers in. But did you know the most holes a bowling ball can have is 12? This is because there are bowlers out there that use a variety of methods with their finger placement when rolling the ball. Now, when I found this one, I had no idea that there was balls with 12 holes, because out of every time we went bowling, me and my friend, the most I've seen, most holes I've seen in a bowling ball was probably like five or six maybe. I never thought 12 would be on a bowling ball. But so number 3, the American Bowling Congress classified bowling as a gentleman's sport until women were finally able to participate in 1917. Now, I found this one interesting too, but at the same time, it's understandable because women's rights weren't as equal as men's back in the day. But obviously, it's different now, and it should stay that way. But yeah, this was an interesting one too. Number 4, the heaviest legal weight for a custom ball is around 16 pounds, but they can weigh as much as 23 pounds. Now, that is crazy. When I saw that, I was like, what? Because, well, I mean, the heaviest legal weight is 16. So you can use a 16-pound ball in a game, but you can't use a ball that's over 16 pounds in a game. That's considered illegal, obviously, because it's probably going to, like, cause cracks into the lanes or break them or something. But anyways, number 5. Among kings and soldiers, bowling was the most addictive game in the Middle Ages. Even King Edward III had to ban his soldiers from bowling because they were paying way too much attention to it rather than practicing their archery. Now, they needed to practice their archery for battles and war with other countries and stuff, but they were too occupied in the game of bowling because it's just that much fun. Even King Edward had to stop them. That was pretty interesting when I found that out. And then the last fact is bowling was banned in America at one point. The sport was banned in the 15th century to stop soldiers from gambling on the game. And I was not aware of that, but I was glad to figure that out when I found out about it. So yeah, on to the next one. So guys, that was my overview on the microculture of bowling. I went over values that are held by the bowlers, the characteristics that bowlers have, their personality traits within the group, behaviors and patterns of communication, as well as 6 interesting facts on bowling. So I do want to emphasize by saying that this sport, when I play it, there's never a dull moment. Whenever I'm with my best friend and we play bowling, we always have a good time. So I'm hoping after this presentation, I influence somebody to try bowling for the first time if you haven't yet. And I'm hoping it can be a normal hobby for you. So